Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Meagan Coy joining us here again today from the Wellness Nook. That's the wellnessnookqc.com. Go to the website there. As a craniosacral therapist, licensed massage therapist, registered yoga teacher, and so much more. She joins us again here live from Davenport, Iowa to talk more about her healing and all the modalities she offers. So hi, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Jill.
Pleasure
How
to
are
have
you?
you. I'm doing great. It's a good Monday here in New York. How's Iowa? What's happening? Anything exciting?
Yeah, we just had I live right on the Mississippi River and it flooded here this past month. The
Oh,
town I live in doesn't have a proper flood wall, so there's usually some flooding that happens every year. And my office space is actually close to the river, so it's always an exciting time.
um,
But it's receding now, and it feels like a new, fresh start here to the rest of the summer.
beautiful.
There's a huge road race happening here this Saturday, where it's thousands of people running for a race called the Big Seven, and so there's some excitement happening here in this downtown Davenport area.
Always exciting to have, right? A little excitement.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for being here. And what did you want to share with your listeners for today? I know there's some new timers here to start, so we'll make sure we just give a quick overview of all the types of cozy, safe space modalities that you offer.
Yeah. So the Wellness Nook is my small business, and like you said in the intro, I'm a licensed massage therapist, a registered craniosacral therapist, a registered yoga teacher, and just have many years of experience under my belt with facilitating space for people, for holding space in order for them to have an experience where stress can be released, trauma can be hopefully released in a safe way. And I think I just have this innate nurturing sense to me where I really enjoy facilitating this space. And that looks like many different things in my practice. So I offer massage, therapeutic massage that can be in combination with craniosacral therapy, or craniosacral work on its own. I do Thai body work, which is on a mat on the floor, with restorative yoga poses. I do abdominal chi massage, so really approaching the body from a whole holistic sense, in a holistic way. So working with the internal organs a little bit more. And also I offer something called natural facial rejuvenation techniques, and that is working more with held tension and trauma in the face and doing certain techniques and things such as massage, craniosacral, and acupressure points in order to help bring a deeper sense of vitality and radiance to the face and head area. And with all of these, I am now saying I work with all ages, or I do always have, but I definitely focus on all ages of people in my practice. I also focus on working with mothers and babies in the pre and postnatal part of their journey, through body work, prenatal massage therapy, working with the mothers with craniosacral therapy, and also newborns as well, in order to help bring their little systems into an optimal state of health right after that birthing experience, and working with babies up until a year old. I also recently started teaching at a senior facility, I guess, is called a Center for Seniors, a chair yoga class and something called an energy class. So really working with the breath and slower movements to help create a connection in your body. And I just love working with all the ages and having these tools and experiences under my belt to really help facilitate that space for everyone, in order for them to come into their bodies and feeling better. So
The safe
that's
space
kind
and
of it in a
safe haven
nutshell.
that we all need. Well, thank you for sharing that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, what else in particular did you want to discuss for today?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to touch base on something that I feel is really important in my work, and that is approaching every session from a cyclical standpoint, looking at things not necessarily in a linear way, but taking a lot of things into consideration on where someone might be in their healing journey. So there is a quote on my website that I have where I approach each person. I view healing as a spiral journey, and I try to meet everyone where they're at on that particular point in their healing journey. It's a continuous process. There's things that happen throughout our lives that can affect us in many different ways. And so not every thing that you apply is going to be pertinent in every session. So kind of really understanding and coming at it from a way that's going to make sure that that I'm approaching something in a way that's meeting them at that time in their life. And another thing to look at is outside factors. So what's happening in the outer environment. And so that's also approaching a session seasonally, like what season are we in? And just understanding that different seasons, your body is reacting in different ways and can also benefit from doing different things depending on that season. So for example, here in the summertime, it is definitely the fire season here in this Western hemisphere, or Northern hemisphere, the Western side of the world. And so therefore we have an accumulation of extra fire in our systems. And so just understanding that in every session as well, along with what someone may be coming in for or wanting to work with. And just knowing also that it's really important to be resourced at times. So if you do a piece of healing work, say you do some craniosacral work and you're working with something a little bit deeper, trauma in the system, and we have a nice session and there is some release and you're feeling really good, but then leaving the space and then not necessarily knowing how to keep yourself resourced so that that work that we did integrates and stays with you, rather than just going back into an environment that's going to keep your stress levels high, or not be able to really let that work settle in how it should. And then you're continuing to run on a flight or fight mode. So
Always. Yep.
So as a practitioner of the healing arts, I find it really important to have a conversation with folks just to get in a sense of what things that they might do in order to keep themselves resourced at home. And that can look like many, many different things for people this time of year, with the weather being warmer and stuff. Being able to be outside, being in nature for a lot of people is a big resource. Taking time for yourself, however that looks in the capacity of your life, whether you love diving into a fiction book or just, having some quiet time on the couch or taking a bath, just finding little things in your routine or that you can do throughout your day that can help your system continue to feel a sense of relaxation. And so with that, I thought it would be fun to share some summer seasonal wellness resources or tools
Help us, yes.
that can be pertinent to this season. And so if you're coming in for a session with me, I definitely check in if you're okay with aromatherapy, but I love incorporating it into a session. Or with my craniosacral work, I also offer distance sessions, so we can do it over Zoom or the phone. And sometimes I encourage them, if they do have essential oils around, to pick a scent that they like, just to help their body. It's a way to help the body calm down. And so some really good essential oils for the summertime that I like to incorporate or suggest using are these have cooling benefits. So peppermint and eucalyptus are a big one for just bringing a sense of coolness to the system. And even putting a couple drops of peppermint in some water and just spraying it on the skin can be really good on a hot summer day. If you feel like you're overheated at all, putting it in shampoo or body scrub in the shower can be really lovely for a sense of coolness. I add both of those essential oils to my massage oil for sessions and use that. So it's getting applied to the whole body, and again can just bring a nice sense of coolness into the system during this time of year. Another one, or ones that are good for a sense of freshening, are citrus blends. So lemon balm, lemongrass, citronella, grapefruit, and all of those can just bring a sense of refreshing to your system, or just a sense of awakening during this time as well. Of course, citrus fruits kind of come into fruit this time of year as well. So it's kind of mimicking our environment. Things that are blooming this time of year, fruiting, can also be really good for our systems. So the citrus, I like to do just putting some on my hands and taking some deep breaths is really nice, or adding again a couple of drops to some sort of product that you use that can add that enhancement. Ones that are good for soothing, or I love using lavender, usually all times of the year. I love using lavender, but it also, again, lavender is blooming throughout the early summer and into summer. So using that in our aromatherapy it's really great for helping to relax and unwind. It's also really good for cooling skin that's inflamed from sweating or the heat as well. So again, just diffusing that and spraying it on the skin. Really good one for rehydrating the skin is geranium oil. And geranium I use as well in my practice just because I love that light flowery scent that it has. So using some essential oils during this time of year that are good for helping our bodies can be a really nice tool. Again, just a little something to help you feel more resourced this time of year. The second tool I wanted to share is it's a yogic breathing technique called Shitali breath. And this has actually been scientifically proven to help lower your body temperature. So anytime, I just think of here with this race coming up, there's like runners practicing all the time, and it is hot here and it's humid. So your body temperature can easily start to feel overheated. So just knowing this breath can instantly help start to lower your body temperature and just make you feel literally more cool inside. So this one is sticking your tongue out and making a U shape with your tongue, and then wrapping your lips around your tongue. So it's almost like creating this straw. So
I can't do that. I can't. I'm trying.
And then you're just inhaling through your mouth. So inhaling through both of the tongue and the lips for maybe a count of 4 or 5. And then you're exhaling out of the nostrils. So you can pull the tongue back in and breathe out. And just doing that even just 5 times, slow, deep inhales through that tongue and exhaling out of the nostrils. And it instantly cools the breath as it comes into the mouth. So that's a big one I'll talk about or have someone even do in my office or over Zoom if they just don't do well with heat at all. That's a great one. And then the last tool or area I wanted to talk about for summer wellness is in traditional Chinese medicine. This time of year, of course, the fire element is really high in our bodies and in our environment. And the organs that directly relate to that are the spleen and the stomach. And these are both associated with the earth element. The stomach, of course, holds our food as it begins to digest, and then the spleen transports those nutrients throughout the rest of our body. So with that fire element high, a lot of times our digestive system can be a bit sluggish this time of year. And so just recognizing that or doing some things that can help move that energy of the stomach and spleen so that you're not getting that sort of sluggish feeling. And so some things you can do with that are, in Chinese medicine, we have meridians that run throughout our body, these kind of invisible lines that from the head to the feet and up, there's tons of these meridian lines, and certain meridian lines relate to certain different parts of the body or organs. So for the stomach and spleen, your left thumb is part of your stomach meridian. So you're just
It's my left thumb. I have stomach issues. So wait, my left thumb?
Yeah, your left thumb, and you're just gripping that left thumb with your right hand, like you're squeezing it.
Wow.
And then you can just hold that for a minute or two, maybe just taking again some conscious breaths, and then you can release that, and that helps that blood flow, opens that energy in that meridian line, which can then directly relate to the stomach and the spleen. And then another area, meridian line that relates to the spleen is the inside of your legs, from your ankle bone all the way up towards the groin area. And so just self-massaging that the inside of your legs, from the ankle up to the inner thigh, helps stimulate that stomach and spleen area as well.
Wow.
So, and then one other point, I do the facial rejuvenation techniques, and there's an acupressure point on your face that directly relates to the stomach, and that is on your jawline. So if you take like your pointer fingers and go right onto your chin, and then follow your jawline in each direction, maybe like 1 or 2 inches, there's a little notch there on both sides of the jaw, and that's your stomach point. And so just holding or pressing into those points again for even just a minute, that can help stimulate that whole area and just get that excess fire in your system to start to dissipate and bring in a sense of balance into the body. And again, all of this a little bit more pertinent during the summertime when it's warmer outside. So those are just some tools that, when I session, I think it's important for people to know that there's different things that they can be doing different times of year, along with whatever else is going on in their life that can help.
Well, see, it's like I heard, like my aunt used to do reflexology for the feet, and it's the same type of thing, talking about these meridians and all. It's coming back to me, right? But it's amazing the type of work that you could do on other parts of the body to help other parts of the body.
Yes. Yeah, I have a reflexology chart in my space that I can look directly at during sessions if I am working on the feet. And I would say the stomach point on the foot, which is on the bottom of your foot, the big toe side, if you just follow your big toe down to almost the middle of the foot on the inside edge, that's your stomach point. And that's probably the most noticeable blocked point on the foot that I will have in a session at times. And again, I'll not maybe have talked about digestive issues with them, but I'll ask them, how is their digestion? Because your stomach point on your foot feels very tight right now. And then more times than not, they'll say, oh yes, I have been dealing with something like that. And it's fascinating, just how connected the body is.
Oh my
Even
goodness.
realize.
It really is. It's beautiful. And the body also has a lot of healing properties, right? I know look, in this day and age, you hear a lot of people getting cancer, a lot of people getting sick. All of our bodies are going to go south in some ways, but isn't there ways we could heal ourselves? I mean, this is like into the conversation, but it's true, right? And the things we put into our body.
Yeah, and that's another, I didn't know if I had enough time to even dive into this, but also eating seasonally this time of year. So you think of what grows in your area during the summertime, the early summer, midsummer, late summer, and trying to incorporate more of those fresh foods, preferably obviously organic, nothing that has been treated with any sort of chemicals, pesticides, but organic, fresh foods, even just substituting something in your diet throughout the day with something that's been growing organically in your area. Our bodies respond to that very well. It's pretty amazing when you start to find those interconnectedness things between our environment and our bodies. And so just little things like that, yes, that may help cleanse the system of toxins that could start to build up and start to cause disease or serious imbalances in our health.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. We still have 5 minutes left in the show, Meagan, so please continue.
Sure. Let's see, what can I go into now? I think with all of that and the excess heat in the summertime, and just tying it all together is just taking time for your self-care is going to help you have a clear mindset on just your life in general. And so trying to think of your way that you're living flowing with the rhythm of the seasons in some way is going to kind of take us back to how our ancestors lived, hundreds of years ago, relying on certain times of year in order to get them through other times of the year, recognizing when it's okay to slow down and go inside internally more and not feeling like we always have to be exerting ourselves outwards, taking that time to do some self-care for yourself, to go have someone hold space for you so that you can relax and rejuvenate. So a massage or a Reiki session, and again, distance sessions as well can be just as beneficial on just having someone to help hold that space for you, to help you reset during the certain times of year. This time of year in summertime, the middle of the summer, the intense heat, it is okay to be inside, to slow down more, to sit by a pool or some water and cool off and not feel like you still have to be doing all of the activities. I know if there's children involved or larger families, sometimes it's hard to find that time for yourself, but maybe, just recognizing where there could be times
The importance of
to slow down, to
self-care,
take
I
time for
say
yourself.
too, right? Ah,
We're not going to be able to have the healthiest relationships with others if we don't know exactly how to have those healthy relationships with
that
ourselves in
is
order to feel
so,
balanced and
so
resourced.
true. It really
Yeah.
is. Thank you. My goodness. And Megan, if we want to reach out to you, could you share how we could do so, please?
Sure. My website is the Wellness Nook QC. The QC stands for Quad Cities, which is the larger metro area that I live in. So the wellnessnookqc.com. Instagram is at the Wellness Nook QC. Facebook is the Wellness Nook. And my phone number is 563-477-4500.
Oh, well, it's
And
always a
you can reach
pleasure
out
having you here.
anytime. Yeah. I offer free 15-minute consultations if you're interested in learning more about any of the work that I do. So I'd love to hear from you.
Great. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here again. As always, great to see you here on the Zoom. Glad we connected. And
Yes, I'm glad
hopefully
that
we'll
worked
chat
out.
again next week, okay? And
Okay.
enjoy all the
Cool.
fun activities happening in your area, okay?
Thank you so much, Jill.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
Sounds good, sweetheart. You too. And to all of our listeners and viewers, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more. Don't forget the wellnessnookqc.com. Visit her. Tell her we sent you. Bye, Megan.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.